Thomas Stonewall Jackson was one of the most talented and influential generals in the American Civil War.
He was born on January 21st, 1824 in Clarksburg, Virginia, to Julia and Jonathan Jackson. He was soon orphaned due to the death of his father and mother by typhoid fever. Jackson moved to Jackson's Mill to live with his uncle Cummings, who educated him.
He was a graduate of West Point, the most prestigious military school in the United States at the time. Demonstrating determination and resilience in his education, he showed early signs of military genius.
He began as a second lieutenant in the 1st U.S. Artillery Regiment in the Mexican-American War. After refusing to follow a bad order, he took his own initiative and took a better course of action. Later, his judgment proved correct. Soon afterwards, he took part in the Second Seminole War, stationed in Florida, where he had many disagreements with his commanding officer, William H. French. Because of his many disagreements, he soon left the war and began a career of teaching at the Virginia Military Institute.
By the time Jackson was recruited for the Civil War, he was a hypochondriac, or one who obsesses over his own health, or was suffering from arthritis. His paranoia led him to think that standing in the same place for long periods of time was beneficial to his health.
He was secretly opposed to slavery as an institution and freed his slaves before he started off for the Civil War. When the Civil War started, Stonewall Jackson made his impact immediate. His troops held their ground at the First Battle of Bull Run, or the Battle of Manassas, against the Union charge, earning him the nickname Stonewall from General Robert E. Lee. Next, he succeeded in drawing away a Union attack and relieving pressure on Richmond during the Valley Campaign. He deceived the Union into believing that his force was much larger than it actually was, and caused them to split up their forces. Afterwards, Jackson defeated the Union generals through divide and conquer, despite being outnumbered. Afterward, during the Union invasion of Richmond in the Peninsula Campaign, Stonewall Jackson's bluff attacks on Washington, D.C., led Lincoln to split up the Union attacking force and defend Jackson's attack. This resulted in a smaller force invading Richmond and helped Robert E. Lee win the Peninsula Campaign in the 7 Days Battle, pushing the Union back to the sea. His last and most successful major battle was the Battle of Chancellorsville, which took place in Virginia. General Lee, who was vastly outnumbered, dangerously decided to split his forces and attempt a flamboyant flanking maneuver, with Stonewall Jackson leading the charge. The successful flanking led to the destruction of the Union Army, as Jackson surrounded the Union Army from the east and Lee pushed up from the south. After his success, he was riding back to his station in the fog. Because of the difficult seeing conditions, he was asked who goes there by a guard, but was accidentally mistaken for a Union cavalry force and shot by friendly fire. His left arm was hit and later amputated. After being moved back to recover his health, he died on May 10, 1863. Lee famously mourned his death by exclaiming, "Jackson has lost his left arm, but I have lost my right," indicating how important Jackson was to Lee and the Confederacy.